If you have the clip, Rob, yeah, go ahead and play this clip. This is him talking about, if people don't pay their fair share for NATO, and a lot of people in mainstream media reacted to this. Go for it.
The presidents of a big country stood up and said, well, sir, if we don't pay and we're attacked by Russia, will you protect us? I said, you didn't pay? You're delinquent? He said, yes, let's say that happened. No, I would not protect you. In fact, I would encourage them to do whatever the hell they want. You got to pay.
That is dangerous rhetoric.
Okay, so unpack it. Why is that
is leadership.
Why is that dangerous rhetoric? Go ahead.
There's words have meaning. Words have power. One of I think the greatest mishaps of the Trump administration was not using his brilliant marketing skills to make NATO pay. We all remember the words, drain the swamp, lock her up, build the wall. Catchphrases, everybody knew that about Trump. He should have been out there saying, make NATO pay. I agree with that. But to come out there and bluster and say, Russia, go ahead and attack our allies, that's as antithetical to American democracy and America's interest as it gets. Now, there's a lot of good things that we could say about Trump. This isn't one of them.
Well, by the way, he's following in Biden's footsteps, because you know what Biden said before Russia invaded Ukraine? You know what he said? He goes, you know what? If you guys do a minor incursion, it's okay. So everybody says the same shit. And he said that, and then 2 weeks later, they attacked. Okay, so listen, I like anybody that's saying America's first, and if you got to pay and you don't pay, that's giving people a warning. And I like it. I don't give a shit.
So if you're delinquent on your bills, that's it.
Whatever.
You can get killed.
Adam, how we have to keep people accountable?
We're not even living in reality.
There's zero accountability. And if you don't start fighting fire with fire, Adam, everybody's walking all over us.
Vinny, let's pull up what countries in NATO have paid and haven't paid. See if we can find that information. See how much money the EU and the people in NATO have actually contributed to this war.
No, I feel you.
Because we're acting as if the United States is the only country funding this.
We're not the most. I think we're the most.
I'm sure we are, but our GDP is greater than any country put together.
But here's the thing. I never thought the day would come where we would have to be in. You let them find it. I never thought the day would come that Americans would be arguing with Americans on how much we should be protecting ourselves and stop throwing money away. That's ridiculous.
So Poland, who's right next to Russia, is number one. Okay, so Poland, you don't have to get invaded by Russia. Congratulations. United States is number two. Rob, punch in a little bit.
You know why Poland's number one? Do you know why Poland's number one?
Tell me.
Because
right next to Russia?
No, because right after Ukraine, Poland is next. So they have to support to do that. So
okay, so here are the countries that won't get invaded because they've paid their fair share. You got Greece, you got, what is that, Spain? Estonia. Rob,
Finland, Romania,
That's
Hungary,
as close as I can go.
Bavaria. I got it. United Kingdom, Slovak Republic, France, Montenegro,
So
Macedonia.
meaning go anything from France and below, they're not hitting their 2% guideline.
Right. Okay, so here are the countries that Trump will allow Russia to take over. Croatia, Albania, the Netherlands, Norway, Denmark, Germany. What is that one right there? Chechnya, which is part of Russia.
Portugal, Italy.
Canada. Italy, our friends in Italy. I think I see Sweden,
Canada, Slovenia, Turkey, Spain, Belgium, Luxembourg.
So these groups that are at 1.8, 1.5, 1.7, 1.6, their contribution should be 2% of GDP. That's what it is. What we're saying is Trump is totally cool with invading Luxembourg now. This is not what American leadership calls for. You should say, hey, listen, motherfuckers, we're going to have to intervene. We have to figure this out. But we're acting like they're not paying anything. Most of these countries that are below the 2% are at 1.7.
No, you're asking the wrong question.
You've just experienced a fresh snippet from Valuetainment, and we trust you found it engaging. It's time to share our insights, and we're excited to hear your thoughts too. So let's spark up a lively chat in the comments section. If you appreciated the content, don't forget to show your support by pressing the like button, and to stay updated with our latest clips, make sure to subscribe and follow us. The recent remarks by former President Trump about the United States potentially not defending delinquent NATO countries have stirred significant debate. The underlying message from Trump is clear. He feels that all NATO members must honor their financial commitments to ensure collective security. NATO was founded on the principle of mutual defense, implying that an attack on one member is an attack on all. Yet, this principle presupposes that all members contribute their fair share. President Trump's insistence on NATO members meeting their defense spending targets is not without merit. For years, a significant number of NATO countries have failed to meet the agreed-upon defense spending target of 2% of their GDP. This has placed an unfair burden on the US, which has consistently surpassed this threshold, contributing a substantial share of NATO's overall defense expenditure. Critics argue that Trump's rhetoric is dangerous and undermines the transatlantic alliance, potentially emboldening adversaries. However, it is important to recognize that, while his language may be blunt, the message it conveys is rooted in a valid concern for equitable burden sharing among allies. It is a matter of fairness and the integrity of the NATO alliance. If member states wish for the full spectrum of protection that NATO provides, it is reasonable to expect them to invest adequately in their own defense, as well as the alliance's collective security. Moreover, the argument can be made that President Trump's approach, while controversial, has yielded results. His pressure on NATO allies has led to an increase in defense spending by member countries. According to NATO's 2019 estimates, the majority of member nations have boosted their defense investments, moving closer to the 2% guideline. Furthermore, advocating for fellow member nations to meet their obligations does not necessarily translate to abandoning them should a crisis arise. Instead, it serves as a call to action, a necessary impetus for reform to ensure strength and solidarity within the alliance. Stronger individual nations lead to a more formidable NATO, enhancing the collective defense capability against any adversary. It is essential to understand the difference between leveraging rhetoric to prompt action and an actual abandonment of NATO's core principles. Stating that the US will not defend those who do not pay up could be seen as strategic posturing aimed at galvanizing NATO partners into fulfilling their pledges. However, when examining Trump's policy moves, he has demonstrated a commitment to NATO with continued US participation in NATO exercises and operations. In conclusion, while some may view President Trump's position on NATO as controversial, his call for equitable contribution is grounded in a legitimate demand for fairness and shared responsibility. His approach has proven effective in encouraging NATO allies to increase their defense expenditures, thereby strengthening the alliance. The future of NATO hinges on the genuine cooperation and commitment of all its members, financially and militarily, to safeguard the collective security that has been a cornerstone of international peace and stability since the end of World War II.